looking at the title of this video, some of you may be really confused. And I wouldn't blame you. I mean, really? Inaccessible accessibility? It sounds like complete nonsense, right? Recently, I've been getting out of the house a little bit more. Obviously, still following all the guidelines in my country, but the point here is that I'm doing things outside of my home. Unfortunately, that means I've gotten reminded of just how much bullshit is involved with just existing as a wheelchair user. Or, well, in Finland specifically, and even more specifically large cities in Finland, with many old buildings and a robust public transit system. Returning us to the topic of this video. Inaccessible accessibility. Now, that just sounds like an oxymoron, doesn't it? But it is the best way I can think to describe it. It is what you get when, technically, legally, a place is accessible, but being there, it doesn't really feel like it. In a way, I am so lucky to have been born here. I'm certainly loads better off than I would have been if I'd been born in the US, but shit's never perfect. So I'm gonna tell you a story to illustrate what I mean by inaccessible accessibility. I have this group I go to on a fairly regular basis, 3 days a week, provided I'm feeling up to it and there aren't any scheduling conflicts. It's a group for young people who've kind of fallen out of the regular rhythm of life to try to find them support or schooling or job opportunities or just give them some social contact. Yes, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to figure out exactly which organization I'm talking about if you tried hard enough, but I don't particularly care. I'm not interested in putting them on blast or anything. I genuinely enjoy being there, and it's been a wonderful time so far, but that doesn't mean I can't be upset with the accessibility situation here. Because, technically, the place is accessible. Legally speaking, it is accessible. I can physically get into it in my wheelchair. It is a bit of a hassle, but I can do it. But therein lies the first problem. It's not strictly speaking their fault. Their offices are located in an old part of town, where the buildings were very much not designed with accessibility in mind, but because they weren't designed with accessibility in mind, the way I have to get in is, well, I don't actually know how everyone else gets in. The start might be the same for everyone. Either way, I have to go through a gate, through one courtyard into another, down to a tiny, heavy back door, which is barely broad enough for me, with my thinner-than-average wheelchair to squeeze through, down a corridor, through a restaurant, and then I get to an elevator. Or the elevator. That I cannot even use myself because I don't have the magnetic key to it. That part actually makes sense, though. The other group members also have to wait for the doors to be unlocked. Except once they are unlocked, they stay that way until closing time. So it's not entirely the same thing regardless of surface level similarities. For example, once lunch is over, they can just walk downstairs and get back to the main area. I have to wait in the elevator for someone else to unlock it for me, or to call it down to the 3rd floor. It's just those little things that make you feel like you have less agency in your life, you know? And really, I have a lot of advantages in this situation, actually. My wheelchair is small, I have a lot of upper body strength, and in case of emergency, I do have use of my legs. If literally any of these factors changed, I would not be able to get into the building on my own. What's really galling, though, is the bathroom situation. Imagine, if you will, you are a 22-year-old adult human. You have not gone to school in 6 years, and suddenly you are once again in a situation where you have to ask to go to the bathroom. Or, at the very least, inform someone that you are going. Because, you see, the only available accessible bathroom is on the ground floor, in the restaurant. So, while I can get down there on my own, I then have to be let back in by someone calling the elevator back up, or, worse, standing outside the bathroom door the entire time I'm in there so they can unlock the elevator once I'm done. I mean, I can also use the non-accessible bathroom in the actual area, But sometimes that's downright painful depending on the day, so yeah. This place, on paper, is accessible. I can get in, and there is a bathroom in the building I can use. But the actual process of getting in is far from ideal, and would not be accessible to everyone. Starting with that the door is so narrow it can't even accommodate a standard hospital model wheelchair, and the threshold is so tall that I actually can't roll in. I have to kind of push up my front wheels and then awkwardly pull myself in like I'm a vengeful ghost crawling out of your TV. You'll find a lot of this all over the place in the world, and it's honestly exhausting. One of the most just truly egregious examples, honestly, is Naistenklinikka, or Kvinnokliniken, which I will just call Kvinnis, because that's what we do. It's a hospital clinic specialist thing in Helsinki, with a focus on reproductive health, hormone treatment, pregnancy, etc. That's why it is, rather outdatedly, called the Women's Clinic. Anyway, this place has just so many issues. I mean, the building is old. I can't really blame them for that, but I sure as hell can blame them for not fixing the multitude of issues that come with it. Like, yes, I can get inside, despite the doors being heavy and unwieldy. I can even navigate just fine, but it's also chock full of little details, like the button to open a door being so high on the wall that it's conveniently placed for someone who's walking, but I have to stretch for it when I'm using my wheelchair. But the worst part really is the elevators, because the doors aren't elevator doors as you're thinking of. No, the doors to the elevators in this place are freight elevator doors. That actually kind of crosses the line into all-out inaccessibility because I can't get those open on my own. But technically, on paper, it's still accessible because it has elevators at all. So that's what I mean by inaccessible accessibility. These constant small reminders that exist absolutely everywhere in our daily lives just serve to hammer home that the world was not built with us in mind, and even when people try to take steps to rectify that, it doesn't always work out. It's exhausting and demoralizing, and it just makes it harder to exist out in the world. If I know that in leaving my house, I leave behind all assurances of being able to actually go places and find bathrooms that function for me, well, I'm not gonna leave my house much, am I? Which I guess works out great for the people who don't want to see disabled people out and about in regular life. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, consider liking it and maybe subscribing. I will be back here Thursday after next. Bye.